Hi Anti-Society, welcome back to the Anti-Social Planet, and today we are checking out the song Solo Christmas by two artists I have not checked out yet, both on the channel and in my own life, so I'm going to butcher their pronunciations for their names. I'm gonna try my best though. So I'm assuming it's Ailee, because her English name is Amy, and I'm assuming there's some kind of pronunciation correlation there. I could be assuming wrong. Feel free to correct me. And then the other performer is a member of Mamamoo, which I do not listen to. I'm assuming my best guess at pronouncing her name is WheeIn? I don't know, I'm just using my limited knowledge here. The only thing I've seen of her is a couple of her dance covers, which are really good, but I don't know what kind of vocals she has or anything about her because I don't listen to Mamamoo. So this is really me just going in blind. I don't know what this song's gonna be about other than I'm assuming it's about being alone on Christmas. That's it. I wasn't given any context in the comment where it was recommended to me. We're just going in blind, so we'll see how this turns out. But we're gonna check out the lyric video first so that my brain doesn't get overwhelmed, and then we're gonna check out the live clip after. So let's check out the song first. Okay, here we go. And if you're new here and you don't like pausing, this is your time to leave, because if I see comments about it and you being super rude, I'm just gonna delete them and move on with my life. So leave now. All right, let's get into the song. Oh, this is gonna be sad, isn't it? I'm getting ballad vibes. Oh no. Ugh. Her voice is so light and breathy here, but that lyric of feeling empty only after the pooled up tears dried up. Oh, I feel that in my soul of like feeling so many things to the point of it overwhelming you and you needing to cry. Like a lot of the time tears are just an overwhelm of emotion, whatever that might be. Like it can be sadness, it can be joy. You know, when you cry tears of joy, it can be anger, but then when you're cried out, there is this hollowness because you don't have that emotion to fuel you anymore. Oh, that's like, it's almost worse than like being sad because it's the emptiness of feeling nothing. Oh no, I wasn't ready for deep in my feelings. Okay. Oh, beautiful sustained there. A little up in her voice too. I love how she's lightening up her voice so much because it has this vulnerability. It sounds like there's barely substance to it because she's just putting so much breath into it, and there's no like conviction to it, which I think fits so well with the lyrics of just being so empty of any kind of feelings. And even her talking about like, I'm scared of it, makes me feel like it's that period after having all of this sadness, like getting past the overwhelm of, I'm assuming, losing a love, and then having the emptiness afterwards. And that's the scary part, is the being completely without emotion anymore. Oh, it's just, her voice is so pretty. Ooh, love that note. I like wasn't even paying attention to the instrumentation, and I realized it there because I was so focused in on her voice. I love how she changed that note very like low in her range. She gets a little bit more closure because it's in that lower end. This lyric, how can you color me with you and leave, gave me chills because, again, this feeling of being empty. And I associate that with like actual depression, because I feel like a lot of times people say depression and they mean I'm sad because something has made me sad in my life, whereas depression is actually, at least my experience, not a professional when it comes to mental health. So this is just me saying from my experience, depression is a complete lack of emotion. It's being completely hollowed out. And that's why it feels gray and it feels very colorless, because nothing has vibrance anymore. Nothing matters enough for you to even really notice it. So it can be the most vibrant colored thing in the world and you can just be completely unaffected by it because there's nothing there. So the idea of like coloring me with you, so adding all of this vibrance, adding all of this color, and then leaving. It's like a sudden loss of this person. I feel like you colored every part of me and then left. And now what am I supposed to do? The song is so sad and so beautiful. God, her voice. I didn't know what to expect because I've never heard her voice before, but I'm a little bit threatened now because I've seen her dance. And then this is what she sounds like. I feel like this is unlocking another rabbit hole. I've gotten into too many during this holiday season, but just because of the new year, I'm gonna have so much stuff that I'm super excited to be checking out. Am I distracting myself with the excitement of getting into new stuff to distract from how this is getting me my feelings? Maybe. Love the harmonies there. Oh, the piano is pretty too. Ooh, okay, she put a little break in her voice there. I was just thinking about how she has like a little bit more closure here, which I feel like fits with the progression of the song. Also a lovely voice. I feel like maybe we're incorporating some life back in, like after your traces faded, it was a flower. It was after you disappeared, a tree. So it's like there's life after this. Maybe, hopefully, I just want there to be some kind of light at the end of the tunnel. Because right now it's pretty bleak. Love the strings. God, she's adding these little breaks and like vibrato into her voice. Again, different from what we had with WheeIn. I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing their names wrong. I'm just guessing. I will learn, I promise. But her voice was very light, tons of air through it. So that's where the vulnerability came in, is it was almost like a whisper tone. Whereas Ailee's voice, and I'm really sorry if I'm pronouncing their names wrong. Her voice, she's getting more closure with it, which is adding a little bit more energy to the overall song, but she's putting in these breaks and vibrato into it, which has that vulnerability again. You know, when you're upset and your voice literally breaks or it warbles, she's incorporating that into the storytelling. Love how we're getting the harmonies in here now. It's adding like a little bit more fullness to it. We've got the strings, I think violins filling in the back too, as opposed to the piano and like a little bit of a synth, I think is what we had for the first verse. I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't really paying attention to the production, which is very unlike me, but I was distracted by the vocals. But just adding like a little bit more to everything that's happening. But the "I'm afraid you forgot to come back," ugh. Just that breaks my heart, because it's this idea of like someone forgetting about you, but you're unable to forget about them. The song's a bummer. I really hope that we lighten up at some point. I love the tone of her voice. She's adding like Sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but she's adding like more and more energy into her voice. Like it's building, building, building. And I feel like we're about to like break it again, which is just beautiful narrative storytelling in just her voice. Like she's building more and more and more, getting like more closure in her vocal cords, almost into a belting tone. Like she's just on the edge of it. And then I feel like we're going to break it down again, which is just beautifully done. Yeah. Ooh. Sorry, yeah, lots of air there. I love the build up with those percussion. I think I've had chills for this in the song like at least 4 times. Why is it so beautiful? It's sad, but such a beautiful song. I'm sad I didn't know that this existed. I mean, I'm sad because of the song, but I'm sad because it wasn't in my life, even though it makes me sad. Look, sometimes we want things that aren't good for us, but that doesn't make them any less beautiful. Don't take that advice. Way more closure to her voice here. Beautiful. Oh, okay. Okay. Way more closure to WheeIn's voice there. Beautiful. Still some breathy quality into it. I don't know her voice, so I don't know where her normal sound sort of is, if she has a naturally breathy voice or not, but gorgeous. And then Ailee's just like belt there, and they got the harmonies with their voices together that just blended gorgeously. Ugh, I love that like build up of everything together. That higher harmony, like it's so thin. Okay, the harmony there is so thin, so light. WheeIn, again, oh, I'm so sorry if I'm butchering their names. I'm just like self-conscious now because I got one wrong with Ihai, I think is how you pronounce her name actually. And now I'm just nervous. So ignore me. Gorgeous tone there, just like lots of nice closure on that lower end. Ooh, why is her voice so pretty? Like the tone of it. Goodness gracious. And then she just lightens up again. Is that the end? I think so. You're just gonna end there? Oh my gosh. The harmonies there, gorgeous. I love the way that their voices blend together. I think there's something about having someone with a like more breathier voice harmonizing with someone who naturally has a bit more closure. They just like fill in the gaps for each other. Like the breathy voice kind of fills in the back, and then with the more closed voice, they can just kind of pick up, like they make the breathy voices moments where they have more closure just like stick out more. I don't know what it is. They blend super well. My heart's kind of broken. Gorgeous song, but goodness gracious, is it sad. Like I feel like if I couldn't focus in on how pretty their voices are, I would cry, which may happen when we get into the live clip because I'm not going to be distracted by the novelty. And I'm gonna have to see their faces. Oh no. Oh, this may be bad. Not gonna lie, I'm a little bit worried about this one. It's one thing to like hear their voices, it's another thing to have to look at them. Okay. Oh no. They already seem somber. Is that a stopped clock? I feel like that is symbolic. Okay. I don't want to interrupt because it's beautiful, but they got this reverb on it, and I don't know if that was in the original and I just got distracted, but I feel like it's really easy to hear it because of the live vocals. And there's something about the way that they've mixed it where it feels like they don't have a ton on her mic. And I know that people can get a little bit touchy about whether or not there's anything on someone's mic when they're singing live. Everyone's got something going, okay? This mic right here, I've got filters on it. Why? Because it's handy to have a compressor on it. Sometimes I squeal and I need the sound to not get all weird and distorted, okay? That's just how it is. So they definitely have something on their mics when they're singing live, regardless of what the setting is. But in this one, it feels way more like raw vocals. And I think maybe it's because she's such a soft vocal tone here that they have to turn up the volume of it to have it mixed properly. So it has this intimacy to the way that she's singing, because you can hear like the breath hitting the mic and like little residue from just the vocals in general, which is almost making it more heartbreaking because it feels like she's like right in front of you. What the little rasp she put there. Okay, before we get into the next part, goodness gracious, is her voice pretty. Like, those two together, I don't know why they were put together on this. If they're friends, I don't know. I don't know why this is the crossover, but their voices together are so beautiful that it's kind of overwhelming me a little bit. There's just something about how they've mixed her voice that makes it feel like this is like more like I'm like in the room, because a lot of the time you try to get rid of any of that. So a lot of it's like air being puffed out. Aspiration is usually what it's called. So you'll hear like the air hit the mic. A lot of that's usually filtered out, especially in live performances. Not always. It kind of depends on how much air is going at the mic. There's little things with when she's making stops, which just basically means that she's like, you basically close off your mouth and build up air pressure. So you can just hear like little remnants of that. Like you could hear the closure happening. So it changes like the sound, like it feels like she's there. Again, adding to this like whisper tone that I was saying before, because she has so much air there. It makes it feel like you're like there in the room in this like small space and she's telling you what happened. Does that make sense? I hope so. But it's getting me in my heart because I'm remembering what the lyrics are and I'm like, oh no. Oh no, her facial expressions. Oh my god, her facial expressions are making me tear up. Because it's like I remember what the lyrics are, and then I'm seeing her face, and my brain's like, oh no, hang on. I was not ready for this to be a crying moment. But there's something about how because she has so much natural like closure to her voice. I think obviously this is the first song that I'm hearing from her. But that means when she lightens up and her voice kind of breaks. So she's putting like these little breaks and then lightening up her voice. And most of the time you don't want to have an obvious break because you're like transitioning between different modes of your voice. A lot of the time you try to smooth that out with practice, but she's deliberately putting it in. I'm assuming because of whatever word she's saying, like in the lyrics. I won't know exactly because the sentence structure in Korean is in a different order than in English, so it's a little bit tricky for me to kind of line it up all the time. But I'm assuming that she's doing that to like accent specific words and phrases in it. And it just, the way, because she's lightening up her voice, it makes it hit differently because you know that it's like her deciding to not have that closure in her voice, and it feels like she has all this like power in her voice and she's losing that power because of this loss. And it's just like, oh, okay, it's fine, I'm fine, we're not gonna cry, it's fine. The vibrato is so beautiful. Gorgeous. That part with like the drums just like gives me full body shivers every single time. I need a break. Need a break from the song because like there's something about it, like watching her, like her facial expressions and like performance. She was so good narratively with just her voice, but then her putting in her facial expressions just like does something to me. And I feel like it fits with the song because the first verse was very much about like the emptiness after having all the feelings. So having a more neutral facial expression, I feel like fits with that because it's just like this complete void after crying yourself, you know, into exhaustion kind of. And then the second verse is more of this building of emotion, like the wave of emotion is coming again, which I feel like happens with loss, whatever it may be. I've never personally experienced a deep heartbreak, so I don't know. I have experienced grief and loss, so it comes in those waves where like you kind of empty yourself out and you're in this kind of numb state and you think it's okay, I'm fine. And then it starts to build and build and build and it overwhelms you. And I feel like that's what like the second verse is this build up. And then we get into the bridge and it's all of it kind of crashing in. And then the end of the song is just kind of starting the loop over again of getting to that place after you have that overwhelming emotion and you're just kind of exhausted and empty. So like having her have these more animated facial expressions, I feel like just fits into that narrative. It's fine. We'll get through this. She's far more emotive now. Oh, sorry, that note gave me shivers like starting on my toes. Wow, I did not know this song was gonna be this pretty and this difficult for me to get through. Whoever recommended this, I'm gonna look up the comment. You, good choice. I'm a little bit upset because it's making me sad. Good choice though. I'll find your comment. She just lightens up so much at the end. See that huge swell of all of this build up and the emotion, and then it all just kind of fizzles out. I feel a lot of weight in my chest. Beautiful harmonies. Oh my god, her voice is pretty. Love the breathy harmonies. Now I feel like I'm empty. Like I've been through a whole emotional roller coaster. I don't even know how to feel anymore. I was not expecting to be emotionally wrecked after that song. I knew that probably it was not gonna be the most happy because solo Christmas. So I was like, okay, maybe it's gonna be about being alone on Christmas. That's not the best thing in the world. I was not expecting to be just completely tapped out emotionally because, oh my god, like I'm a sucker for a piano ballad, really. Like I try to be like, I'm like not a ballad person in terms of it's not the thing that I usually listen to. It's not like a high frequency song for me, but piano in general, I don't know. It just is something about it. The lyrics themselves, there were so many moments in the lyrics where it's like, oh my god, that line, and it just like cuts into my heart. I don't know how to feel about that. And then their voices are just so beautiful that they were getting me with that, and then seeing them perform it with their facial expressions and like no interaction between them at all. Like they were separated into their own little thing, their own little bubble. Like even though they were in the room together, they were alone. And I think that that's so symbolic of what the song is like they could be in a room full of people and still be alone because they're missing that person that they actually want to be with, and it's left them empty. I'm gonna cry just talking about it. I don't know how I feel except that I'm sad. But also the song is so pretty. I'm in a lot of turmoil, which I think is probably very symbolic of the song itself. But I hope you enjoyed listening to that along with me, ? Leave me lots of details about these artists and other things that you want me to check out from them. Thank you to the person who suggested this. I'm gonna find your comment because good job, yes. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.